Alright guys, Psycho Killer. First reviews are here. Apparently it's really bad. It's got a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now Rotten Tomatoes isn't the be all and end all, obviously. And I was expecting more from the writer of Seven, which is an incredible movie. So this is genuinely disappointing. Genuinely disappointing. But 20 reviews and still 0% is... I mean, it's not good, is it, really? That's pretty bad. I mean, obviously, that's pretty bad. So, yeah, really disappointing, actually. I thought we'd just go through this. This is a movie which caught my attention because it's the writer from Seven. So, you know, you've got my attention at that point. I want to at least see what's going on. But apparently it's just not just not great. There's some positive stuff, but not enough, right? It's still a 0%. So, yeah, bad times, really. For those that don't know what this is, again, movie from the writer of Seven, Andrew Kevin Walker. And the story follows a Kansas highway patrol officer who sets out on a journey to track down the man responsible for the brutal murder of her husband. As the hunt progresses, she comes to realise that the perpetrator is a sadistic serial killer, and the depths of his mental depravity and his sinister agenda is more twisted than anyone could have imagined. So it's a pretty, I don't know, not cliche. It's not paint by numbers. It's kind of, I don't want to say generic, but the setup is very reminiscent, you know. But it could have been good, and apparently it's not. So as the reviews come in and say, God, I'm so disappointed by this. I wanted a really good horror movie, but never mind. The idea behind Psycho Killer, a serial killer known as the Satanic Slasher, sounded like a sure thing, especially given that the script was penned by Andrew Kevin Walker. Unfortunately, it's a superficial dud with very little bite in terms of the getting under your skin factor like Seven was. Georgina Campbell is our revenge, justice-seeking main protagonist, and she's about the only one in the film with real acting chops. Everyone around her feels like they're at a table read. I rarely even mention acting in my reviews because it's usually a given, but if it's this bad, I have to bring it up. The killer has a cool look, but he's a bit too try-hard. We get it. You're scary and deadly. The movie really expects the audience's respect without earning it. And once again, Malcolm McDowell is collecting a check, turning in the same performance he's given the last 20 years. I said it. The plot is really thin as well. Jane Archer is following the Satanic Slasher across the country with very little in the way of legal red tape. It's barely addressed, and she really doesn't give much story-wise for the audience to really get invested. Outside of that, outside of what happens at the beginning of the movie, thin. In the end, Psycho Killer has lofty ideas and means well in terms of what it's trying to do, but it trips and stumbles constantly throughout the runtime. Out the other side looking pretty silly. Wow. Savage. Psycho Killer has a memorable killer with a great vibe, and it's extremely stylish in how it's shot. Genuine kudos. Georgina Campbell is a great and badass protagonist. I have to admit, though, that I wish it did more and found more ways to surprise in the ending. And this is the look, right? This is a cool look. This is an interesting vibe. Very interesting look. Goddamn, Psycho Killer is bad. don't think I've ever left a movie where so many people were loudly complaining about how bad it was. Jesus. But you see, like, it does look stylish, right? It's a stylish looking movie. From the first-time feature director Kevin Pallone and Andrew Kevin Walker, the screenwriter of Seven, Psycho Killer is a slasher full of missteps and missed opportunities. Brilliant. Good times. Psycho Killer. And they didn't like it either, really. Completely cliche slasher. You should just run away. Brilliant. A laughably bad attempt at reinventing the serial killer formula. Ugh. Really? What a shame. Let's look at Hollywood Reporter's take on this, shall we? Oh, God. So, Played by former wrestler turned actor James Preston Rogers. He's so menacing looking that it's hard to believe he can walk into a convenience store without being arrested. He's the size of a Buick. Has a voice so deep it sounds like he's using a simulator, even when he's not. And he walks around wearing a radiation mask, so as not to attract attention. Oh, Jesus. The bottom line, listen to the talking head song instead. Oh, Christ. Oh, yeah, Psycho Killer, yeah. The film, which has inexplicably been in development for nearly 2 decades? What? Oh, my God. Well, yeah. I guess at that point, if it's been in development for 2 decades, it wasn't really ever destined to be great then, was it? God damn. Anyway, Psycho Killer frequently traffics in similarly Baroque territory, but without any of that film style or wit. After a very effective opening scene, it starts to go off the rails and finally derails completely. Amazing. Turns out the killer is the Satanic Slasher. Gotta love those serial killer nicknames. Who's been on a killing spree that has resulted in dozens of victims. He leaves behind satanic symbols and phrases written in blood at the crime scenes. Hence his moniker. The surviving officer decides to pursue the slasher on her own. She displays a remarkable facility for detective work, considering that the FBI has been on the killer's trail for months without getting anywhere. In no time at all, she manages to track him down, leading to several confrontations, including one particularly nasty one in a motel room in which she barely makes it out alive. Meanwhile, the slasher goes about his own business, which includes a visit to a palatial estate that serves as the home for a satanic cult, headed by the debonair, coke-snorting Mr. Pendleton, played with gusto by Malcolm McDowell. This is where the film weirdly veers into camp territory, with Pendleton welcoming the visitor as another traveller on the left-hand path, meaning Pendleton's assistant develops an uneasy rapport with the hulking stranger. It doesn't take long for the slasher to murder nearly all of the cult members, although not before they've enjoyed a meal of takeout Chinese food. What? Oh, and an orgy. Wow. What is this movie? Well, God. Apparently it's terrible. So, good times. Brilliant times. Absolutely brilliant times. Let's have a look at the Rotten Tomatoes as well. God, what a shame. Is it still up and 34%. Wow, this is one of those times where the audience and the critics agree. Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, anyway, I'll tell you what, I'm disappointed. Not going to lie, I'm disappointed. So, there you go. Psycho Killer is poo, apparently.